It's Meta Monday time, and we only had one real event this weekend to review. We will review that event, look at the last month's worth of data, and then dive into the winning list because it is an interesting one in Old Umbrey that we were all going to need to learn about. My name is Ryan. I used to be good at Warmachine. Welcome to Spell Rack. There was one Iron Gauntlet qualifier this weekend that had 25 players. It was by far the largest event of the weekend, and I thought we'd take a look at that one. Let's look at the top 8 specifically. Old Umbrey took it home. Congratulations to Brad, I guess. Old Umbrey also took second and fourth. So 3 of the top 4 spots going to Old Umbrey, with Infernals at third, Cricks at 5, Dark Operations at 6, Kador at 7, Gravediggers at 8. We know Old Umbrey is a very strong faction, and as people are getting more games with it, they just seem to be getting stronger. We know Infernals to be very strong. We know Cricks to be good. Dark Operations, a little surprising to see them up there, but in an event like this, you are getting to 3-2 records. Really, I think what you mainly want to focus on is the top 4 here, which is 3 Old Umbreys. And so Old Umbrey is really, really good. Let's look at the data for the past month and get a little bit more detail, and then we'll come back to this event. If we just look back at the last month, these are our win rates. Grimkin are seeing a lot more play at a very high win rate. Not near Infernals, but still very high. So those are your kind of top 2 factions that you're more likely to see. And then right here is Old Umbrey, 249 games. Old Umbrey are seeing a lot of games played. People have these models now, and they're showing up to tournaments in mass, and they're absolutely crushing it. A 59% win rate. Storm Legion at 57, and then back down. Sea Raiders, Gravediggers, again, have been performing very well recently. 54, 53. Shadowflame and Bloodbrines at right in the 50% mark. There's Dark Operations at 47. Kador at 47. Factorum here at 46. And then House Callus at 46. So kind of bringing up the bottom end of the modern factions. So let's take a deeper dive into Old Umbrey, and let's look at the leader statistics on here. Ignoring the one here with 2 games, we have Aslanov with 87 games played. So the majority of the games in Umbrey are being played by this one caster, with Lycia coming in at 53, but still the majority here. And then a 69% win rate on that caster. So to have that many games played and that high of a win rate, that is definitely an outlier at this point. And you'd be thinking we're getting enough data in to know that this is a problem. So let's look back at the event and let's see what Bradigus played. So AZ is the abbreviation for that caster. He played the same list all day. So he went 5-0 with one list on the entire day. So clearly this is a all-comers list for him that he's just beating everybody with. So let's look at his list. I have it broken down into War Room. I am by no means an Umbrey expert, so I'm going to walk through this as best I can, but I would suggest everybody kind of study this on your own. So let's talk about the Warlock here first, Aslanov. This caster specifically has a very good threat range himself. The model can walk and jump with Gang Fighter. So you have speed 6, jump 5 is 11 inches with 2 inches of reach, so a 13-inch threat. And then Gang Fighter's going to make it Mat 9, POW 18. So that's a very strong warcaster in its own right as far as, doing damage is concerned. There are battle plans here. They are helpful. While this model's control range and base to base with one or more models in its battle group, friendly faction warrior models gain +2 armor and cannot be knocked down. That battle formation is what you're going to see. That's what a lot of this list is going to do. And it is in its battle group. So this is in its own battle group. We have 2 other models in the battle group. So there's 3 models to be based to get +2 armor on your warrior models. We'll get to them in a minute. Let's talk about the feat for a second. Is Lion's Roar. Warrior models get +2 speed on the charge. And then while in Maxim's control range, enemy models cannot run, charge, perform special actions, or special attacks. Now, Maxim only has a 12-inch control area. So if you want to put Maxim on your opponent's pieces, he needs to be really far up there in order to get that 12-inch range on something. Let's consider that as we get through the list. Is the feat just there for +2 speed on your own models, or is it also a control and denial feat at the same time? Maxim is a 15-17 with 18 boxes, so a very good stat line. We know that while in this model's control range and base to base with one or more models in its battle group, friendly faction warrior models. So Maxim himself is a warrior model and can base one of his heavies to gain +2 armor. Let's go back and look at the heavies real quick. The Feral has guard dog out of the head. So while within 3 inches of its leader and is not knocked down or stationary, its leader gains +2 defense against melee attacks. So now you can put the Feral next to Maxim, put him way up the field when you feat. He's going to be +2 armor because he's basing somebody in the battle group, and he's going to be +2 defense. Well, you can't even charge him. But if you could get outside of that charge range and you did charge into him outside of his 12-inch control range, he's going to be defense 17, armor 19. Let's look at the rest of the Feral. The Quills give spiny growth. So spellcaster gains +2 armor. So now Maxim can spiny growth himself. Now he ends up being armor 21 and can be defense 17 against melee attacks. So my expectation is that in this list, when properly piloted, that feat is not only +2 speed, but it is a heavy control feat. You're going to have to commit Maxim pretty far up the field. You're going to have to camp some, but being defense 17, armor 21, maybe you block line of sight to him. He's only on a 30 mil base. That is a very, very rough Warcaster to contend with. And if you place this Warcaster that far up the field, the next turn he threats 13 inches to kind of kill whatever he wants. Let's finish up with Maxim and look at the spell list too. The spell list that he comes with is Revive, so you can bring models back, and Arcane Might, so you can boost attack rolls on other models if you're camping on Maxim. A lot of efficiencies to be gained here. And then obviously you have access to the spell rack if, to add in or bring in whatever you need. If you are playing way up the field, you could take something like IR and put IR in the caster as well, and then he's armor 23. Because if the intention is to put them way up there, you just want to make sure that you're being safe. Or here, Surefoot, you gain +2 defense. So he'd be a defense 17 to everything, 19 to melee with armor 21. So there's a lot of ways to buff stats on the Warlock here. Put him up the field, feat, and make sure people can't charge you. Let's look at the rest of the army. Here you have the Starved, obviously just a fantastic character, war beast, a great heavy. The Animist is here to, for the most part, make corpse tokens. The meat of the list then is, now that I've come down to it, you have 2 Bear Cav solos, and then you have 2 units of Bear Cav backed up by the Chosen of the Witch. So this is just a ton of really nasty melee models that are going to get +2 speed on the feet. And then keep in mind in the Urson Champions, they have Stir the Blood. So warrior model unit gets +2 to its next melee attack damage rolls. And the Liegemen get +1 to attack rolls. So the Ursons are going to be POW 16 on these attacks. And they're going to be speed 9. The Chosen of the Witch also are going to be speed 9. The list ends up being very fast, being able to hit with a very hard alpha, while being able to ideally cover up what it doesn't want to be charged with Maxim himself. So if you were to imagine the battlefield, say the Cav went off to the left a little bit and kind of cleared everything out there, while Maxim went off to the right of the side of the battlefield a little bit, tagging everything in that front row within 12 inches is saying you can't charge. Now you've put heavy attrition into one flank, and you've told the other side that they can't charge. Not only can they not charge Maxim, but they can't charge across back at the Bear Cav. Even if they do start to attrition you, Maxim comes with Revive, and you have Nastia in here, and she has Revive. Now you have multiple sources of Revive, and you can be bringing the Bear Cav back. It's a lot to deal with. Past all that, you still have all of Nastia and Aberration that they are and how they exist. They're a very incredible, powerful package for 20 points. So this list, obviously, going 5-0 on the day, the caster having a 69% win rate over the last month. This list clearly needs an answer. When you're building a list pair, you need to be able to deal with something like this. Can you make those charges work? Can you put guns on this list in a way that is meaningful before it charges you? He's going to have wind wall, so you're -3 range. And then he's got these bear cav that are going to be speed 9 going to 12 inches with 1-inch reach. So they threat 13. The Chosen of the Witch are going to be speed 9 going to 12 inches with 2-inch reach. So they're going to have a 14-inch reach. So the list has pretty good threat ranges. It's got an incredible feat and a caster that you probably can't kill. It's a lot to think about. It's a very powerful list. Umbrey real good right now. So good luck in dealing with this one for your next event. Myself, I'm headed to LVO this weekend and probably plan to lose to this list. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Talk to you next time.